right. Hi, this is Kim Pinkney, and welcome to my channel. Alrighty. Yesterday I had begun coloring Batman, but I didn't like that his face was really dark. I wanted it dark, but I'm like, you know what? On second thought, I don't want it this dark. I just want to have more of a contrast between his mask and his face. And then you look down here, and it's all like. What is the word? Like it doesn't see any sun, which is not a bad thing because it does give a contrast between that and his face, which does catch a lot of sun. But I'm like, okay, well, I think I just want to keep this kind of similar or close to. Plus, I didn't like that I closed his mouth, and it looks like he's, I don't know, the expression is not right. So now that I kind of have an idea of more of what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead. I am still going to use some white here. I'm going to use my white crayon. And I'm just going to define my white areas. Again. Alright. So, what I kind of decided was I don't want white to be the highlight. I want purple to kind of be the highlight. Instead of like it reflecting, you know, the white light to give it the shine, I'm going to use purple instead. And I'm going to use white pretty much in the face and maybe on his skin here. So where we're going to see it, I'm just going to go ahead and apply it. And let me go ahead and raise this up so you can see all the areas where I'm putting the white, and then I'll zoom back in on the face. Let's see. Let me see if I can fix that. Make sure I got the entire bat body. There we go. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just apply white where I think it's going to show up the most. And it'll help me with my highlights. Let's see. This is going to jut out, so I'm going to go ahead and give that white. This is going to be outlined kind of with the purple. Let's see, he's going to have a shadow, and I'm going to change the area of where the shadows hit so that it's kind of hitting him directly. The light is coming straight on him, so everything on the sides will be in shadow, kind of like somebody hit him with a spotlight. So different parts of his face are going to be kind of lit up more so. Like the shadows should be over here, but it still kind of has that definition where we have two kind of lights going on. One that's going to hit them directly, which will give me a shadow, and that's why people usually just hit it, you know, set it to music. And then in interior of him will be lit up with purple. I don't know, playing it by ear. Let's see. I know that certain parts will capture the white. Let's see, underneath his eye, this right here is going to be lit like a lighter color. I'm going to capture the light here, usually captures it above here. We'll see how it goes. No one says that you have to have one set of lights on the dear bat. Let's see, and wherever it bends, I want to definitely have a bit of a light hitting it. Whenever he has abs. Okay, but I'm not going to dwell too much on it because things change, ideas change, lighting changes. Alright, but anywhere I think the light's going to hit it. And let's see. And we'll go ahead and give it a little bit of something down here. Like right, let's see, usually above the shadow indications are where it's lighter. So I'm going to hit that there. And sometimes white will change a color so that it'll be a lighter version of that color. Let's see, if light hits it here, we'll probably get it hit right here on the knuckles. Maybe catch a little bit on the thumb. let's see, if we have any kind of light coming downwards, maybe moonlight or whatnot, maybe we might have a little bit there. And I'll compare the difference between this that I'm coloring over again to what I have currently, and you'll see the difference on why I wanted to use colored pencil instead of, I'm going to leave this kind of dark, maybe hit a little bit of the utility belt. Why I wanted to use colored pencil instead of crayon on his face. No matter how sharp I get my crayon, it's still going to come out like a blunt, dull, not dull, but it's not going to be as sharp as a colored pencil. Colored pencils, I can sharpen them to a point, and I can control them a lot better than I can a crayon. Crayons I like using with a big area. Let's see. And I liked how sand looked on his face. It gives him an extra paleness, especially when I couldn't find my white. And I probably still don't have my white. Let's see. Yeah, ha 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 ha! I found a white. Okay. So I won't have to use like a blunt crayon in certain areas. Good. Okay, I'm gonna put white above here. Let's see. We're gonna have a little bit of reflection in his lips. Let's see. It's gonna be hitting. Let's see. This is gonna be in kind of like in shadow, but not shadow. It's gonna be like color tone. All right. Yeah, so I prepared like a couple different papers and stuff like that, just in case I made a mistake. All right, I'm going to start on the skin part first, because if the blue gets onto the skin, it's going to be annoying. All right, so let me do my thing. Let's see, I want to find a kind of a rugged looking fella. Okay, this will work. All right, so the colors I'm going to be using are sand, peach. Let's see, that's funny. This peach looks different from this peach. We'll see what the colors look like here. I wonder why, because they're both Crayola. It could be that this is older, but it's weird how one is pinker than the other. Okay, and salmon. Salmon gives it that reddish, orangish color. So we'll give him some bat lips, because we're just cute like that. I wanted to keep his mouth open. I'm also going to throw a little bit of color right here. I'm also going to use a little bit of a light brown. Tan gave it a yellowish tone, so I'm going to probably stay away from my tan. Or I might mix it in with some of my other colors. This is brown, but I'm looking for my light brown. I've got a dark brown for special areas here. And this will make it'll define his lips a little bit better. So all those areas that are close to black but not being black, I'm going to go ahead and add that on here. I also wanted to add that like little contour on his face. We'll go ahead and do his mask. And I think for giggles, so I can get ahead faster, is I will outline certain things like in gray, because gray is pretty easy to cover if I need to. or make a little bit lighter. If I can find my gray, either gray or blue, I'll either use one or the other. Here's my gray. Okay, and I'm going to sharpen these guys so I have a nice point. I mean, it's got a nice point now, but I kind of am spoiled now. When I was able to get those really super, there we go. And I like doing that simply because I like to have a nice line. I don't want a really super bold line because it'll be kind of distracting. But my bold lines will come where I'm going to have shadow instead. So I'm going to hit his shadows with some gray here. I'm going to avoid his face right now because I really want to keep that really super light skin tone. To give that contrast. Let's see. And I want to be able to see what you guys see. There we go. And I'm in the chat. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I can try to answer any that I can. I'm going to throw a little bit of white. Usually on, I always say that wherever you see a shadow, there's going to be a corresponding light, or vice versa. Wherever you see a light, there'll be a corresponding shadow. In this case, his face, where the light is furthest away from it, will cast this little line here of shadow. And where it gets dark, it'll start to get lighter and things like that. Okay, so this color here is brown. And I'm going to have that kind of butterfingers. I'm going to have these two colors kind of blend to peach. I'm going to use like brown and peach on his skin. Give him that butt chin. And this was the, is this the peachier? Yeah, that was the peachier color peach. Let me see what this one does, if it's even different. It probably won't be too different, because it doesn't say light peach or anything, but it does look lighter. This is actually a lighter peach. So I'll use this over here. And I'll move a little bit faster because I want to get through a lot of this bat here. There we go. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get this kind of precision on a small image with my crayon. So I'm going to leave that for more of the body. And I'm going to blend in this salmon to give him a little bit more tone closer to the shadow. And I'll just keep layering it until I get to the tones that I want. So like right here is going to be kind of more of the salmon tone. And then behind it, behind this right here, because his jaw is going to jut out, and where it juts out, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of gray. This is where the blue crayon is going to come in, but I want to bold up his jaw just a bit. it would capture a little bit of light. And I got to decide which one I want to use for my light. Let's see. I took a moment off screen and I just looked at what my crayons would do for me. So the purple I kind of want to use is this violet purple. Let's see. This is Purple Heart. That's this. That's a little dark. Let's see. This is violet purple. That's the purple I'm going to use like a highlight. So where his jaw is, it's going to jut out, but it's kind of going to give off a little bit of light. Just a little. Let's see. And then it's going to move into the blue, or the deep dark blue. So the deep dark blue that I'm going to use is like this midnight blue. That's the darkest I've got. But I could make it darker by adding like red and stuff to it. So I've got this midnight blue to be the dark blue. And I'll be using cerulean as kind of a lighter blue. And I'll be using that where I think more light is going to hit it, on the bat suit here. And then Cornflower is going to be my lightest blue, which is going to be like the reflective light. So anywhere I think I'm going to have white, it's going to be replaced by this Cornflower blue. So like right here. And I'll even have the Cornflower blue go to white. And then everything else will be, yeah. So like this is the next closest color to the white tone. So as the light's starting to curve around, you'll start to see more of the color of the bat suit type of thing. Okay, so right here, where there's white and it's moving away from the light, I'm using Cornflower as that in-between tone. And then I'll start throwing in the darker tone. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is use a little bit of red to make the black instead of having, let's see, where are you? Here you are. Oh, but you're dull as hell. So let's use we'll use this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if, where is my blending stump? Here we are. Okay, this might work. I got the red. Oh, okay, red, and I was going to use a little bit of the blue to be my darker tone. And usually you can get away with making a darker tone by combining a warm tone, a warm color, with a dark color, with a cool color. Warm color with a cool color. And that'll give you close to black. Okay, this is that green. But green is not a bad thing because it is the opposite of red on the color wheel. And when both of them are combined together, it makes black. Or I could stop being lazy and just go ahead and use black. Okay, I don't want to use this one yet on other areas. There we go. Let's finish up this face. I love jumping around, but let's see if I can stay a little focused. Yeah, we'll use black. It's not going to hurt anything. Where's my black? Yeah, we'll use the dark brown. Dark brown is really close to black. I mean, it's dark. So I'll just go ahead and add some of these shadows here. And then I'll come back to the face. I kind of let myself, my eyes relax a little bit. Because sometimes looking at colors, it becomes, I won't say overwhelming, but they could have a tendency of oversaturating your eye. And it's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Especially with this kind of baby oil treated paper. Okay. So this little ridge right here are the top of his lips. Let's see, and I want to throw more tone here. Coming towards here. And also, if things don't work, or they don't seem to work or mesh, I like to move on to other areas so that I don't get myself frustrated and rage quit because things aren't working out the way I want. And sometimes it just takes a moment for things to come together. Like right now, we're at an ugly stage. And sometimes the ugly stage can make you rage quit. So one of the things you got to keep, in mind that yeah, there's gonna be a little ugly stages here and there, which is like where things just don't look like they're working. But stay with it, give it a moment. Stay on target, stay on target. Okay. And then I want to make that a little darker. Let me see if that'll let me do it with red. Now also, you can affect the shadows. So like if you wanted deeper, darker shadows, or you wanted like a cool shadow versus a warm shadow, that can also affect your image as well. Let me see, I'm going to try to use a different. Red is a little overwhelming on this. I'm going to leave a little bit of an area next to, there we go. And also, if you find that your crayons are a little duller than you wanted them to be, you can heat up your paper and you can make it darker. Just don't use one color to get what you need. Don't rely on just one color. Black and another color, like this is black here, can also accomplish the same thing. It just is kind of like a neutral. It's not warm, it's not cold, it's just black. Let's see. And then blend like the wind. On your blending stump. To get to the blue that I want. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of rubbing it in, and I would also layer with more. Let's see, I got black and blue. So this one right here is the Midnight Blue again. And I'm using kind of like average pressure. Okay, now this isn't going to be like a quick color. This is something that you want to take and build up your color, especially if you really want to make it look good. Okay, so let me come back down to here. I just kind of want the colors to sit, let my eyes relax a little bit, see how it's working with the paper, and then I'll come back to that. Now on this side here, this is going to be lighter, but not as light as this. So this area right here needs to be a little bit lighter. Let's see, except in this area, because there's going to be a little bit of a light hitting it. So right here. And the colors are really super soft here. Usually these colors are pretty hard, but when they're on this kind of paper, they just like glide. It's like butter. Let's see. So there's going to be a little bit more light here hitting his lip. Make a little bit of a highlight here and just a small one here. What I kind of like about coloring superheroes, things like that, is kind of like I'm doing my own casting. It's like, you know, because there's always people who speculate, oh yeah, this guy should be Batman, or that guy should be Batman, or this person should be Wonder Woman. And if you can draw it yourself or bring it out, you can put those features of the person that you think should be your Batman or your Superman onto these coloring pages. You just find their face in this particular position and you got it. And we'll just give it. Now on this one here, I actually have, I'm using a source image to get the tones that I want. And you can see the difference, and I'll show you that in a second, between this one where I don't have a source image and this one where I do. You see all the detail that I have. This was just kind of working from my mind. And then this one here is actually working from a good-looking guy with a nice jaw. So I would not discount using source images. And then I'm just blending in to get some of these tones. Now one of the things you need to keep in mind if you do decide to use source images is that where is their light hitting them? I got lucky and the light was hitting in just the right area to correspond with what I'm doing with my rendering. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of white to kind of lighten up that purple. And I'll use a little bit of white to lighten up that cerulean. I mean, this stuff just like really blends with itself on this paper. So I can't emphasize enough. Baby oil! Okay, midnight blue. I'm going to use a little bit of midnight blue here. And then I'll use one of the lighter blues. I don't want to use cerulean. This is cornflower. It's really light. Let's see. And we'll just kind of give it a soft once over there. And I'm going to enhance it a bit with, let's see, I want to use black or a deeper, darker blue. This blue here is light blue. Let's see if that'll help a little bit. It is just, I want to just use the color pencils in the really tight areas like this. I don't want the crayon to obliterate some of this stuff here. Now this is nice. Okay, so on this side here, it kind of recedes to shadow. So we'll throw a little bit of blue here. And I could just, use color pencil throughout this entire thing. It's not going to hurt anything either. It's just that the crayon lays it down a lot faster. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I want to make this a little bit rounder, and I'll give this a little bit of a crest because I'm following this shadow here. If it's going to cast a shadow here, then the shadow should carry on upwards. Light will hit it like right here, and that'll be a darker, make it like, we'll just make it that blue right there. If I need to go darker, I can. Okay, Midnight Blue, where art thou? Midnight, Midnight, here you are. Okay, I'll bring that down where the shadow of his nose is here, into here. And I'll go over blues to give it more of a cohesive look. Okay, now this comes back into the light, so I'm going to probably use my cornflower here. Or more than likely, I am. Now, if you want the bat suit to look super shiny, you want to leave some white spots, like where white would hit it, like right here. And that'll give it like a shininess. And then you can emphasize it again by going over with white again. Let's see, I need something to whiten the flecks off. Let's see, hopefully this is wet. I don't want to use a wet one. I want to use... Yeah, be careful about using baby oil, like something that has baby oil on it to white this. It will smear the crap out of it. Let me use a dry one here. I should annotate these as wet or dry. There we go. Lovely. Okay. All right, here's Midnight again. Okay, so the light will be hitting it about right here. Give ourselves an expression. We'll have a little bit of dark here. We'll have a little bit of dark here because it's bending that way. Yeah, this color here is Midnight Blue, and it comes out like that. So Midnight Blue seems to work on the bat. Now, if it looks too blue for you, you can always throw in more black. So I'm thinking it looks a little blue. Let's see, that's dark brown. This one here is dark brown. I want to see if I can find my black here. There's my gray. Gray may be a little light, but it might help me with my darkness. So let me see if that'll work. There we go. Yet I don't usually mix my crayon with colored pencil because sometimes it has a tendency of wiping one of the other out. There we go. So we'll have a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll going on. There we go. So either I would use colored pencil first, lay that down, and then I would go over it with the crayon. But it looks like on the baby oil treated paper, it's not doing so bad. I think they're working side by side here. This paper was drying under a fan for about a day. And let's see. There we go. Oh, don't you look smart? Okay. And then I'm going to probably have, depending on how smooth the bat mask is, will determine how hard your lights and shadows are. If it's like super sharp looking, it's not going to, it'll have some It well depends on your lighting. If you wanted to have like that, you know, contrasting skin will have and here's one of those blending sticks, tortillons. I have no idea how it's supposed to be pronounced, but that's okay. Blending stump is good with me. I'm going to use the thinnest one because I've got so many little areas here that are just like tiny. Okay, so I am having the gray and the blue just gently edge up towards the white. There we go. And it's kind of subtle. So I'm going to use a little bit of that here. So it kind of dirties up my white so it's not like white. It's just very subtle. And just bring it into the white. And then on the opposite side of that, I'm going to make that a little bit blacker or a little darker. And bring that down. Because it's shiny. There we go. But not too shiny. If he was in rain, he'd be like crazy slick shiny. Okay, so I'm going to write... Let's see, we'll use the dark brown here, and I'll just hit that with a line here. Depending on how this suit is made, like how many angles it has. If it has like rigid angles, you can get away with doing the, you know, abrupt color changes. If it's kind of smooth, it might not have that kind of, you know, abrupt color change. And if you're not sure, see if you can find a source image, someone who colored the Batman the way you like it. It's like, ooh, I want to carry that on. And then you can always add whatever you want to it. Battle damage. And one way to do battle damage, you can look at something that else that looks like it's been destroyed and see if you can apply that to your image. Like I would love to see Wonder Woman like beat the hell up. You know, like she's actually been in a fight. Like it wasn't easy. You know, you don't see a lot of that. You know, Wonder Woman coming off of a fight and she looks like she was in a fight. You know, type of thing. You know, well, maybe like a little bloody cheek, but nah. I want a girl in a sling. It's like, really? You gonna send me out again? Well, you know, I am Wonder Woman. But she's a goddess, you know. But I love, like, when you see Batman kind of huddled up in the Wayne Manor or in the Batcave, and he's got ice around him. He's got bandages. The Bat first aid kit. I'm just easing some of the transition here. There we go. I'm going to have Cerulean take over this white here, but this gives me the crest of where the shadows and highlights are. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of the dark brown on this side. So if you are upset with some, you know, coloring books like, oh my god, they got wonky eyes in this, or, you know, it's the artist kind of sucked, and like they sucked, you know, and it's like, I don't want to color this, but I want to color it. You can do this method where you take baby oil treated paper and you can correct their mistakes, or what you deem is a mistake. Like there's this one coloring book that I'd like to color in. But the artist made all the eyes like freaking scary huge, like alienish, and they got weird stuff in them, and it's just like creepy. I've seen people do some really great stuff with it, but it still is just a creepier thing with bigger, stranger eyes. But I like the themes that they used. I mean, I love mermaids. I love pirates. I mean, one day I want to do a Batgirl pirate. Oh, I'd love to do superhero pirates. That would be tight. Oh, that would be so cool. Okay. Let's see. What color was I doing on the outside of this? Give me one quick second. I mean, can you imagine the ships and stuff that they would have? It would be like freaking crazy. Oh, man. Okay. So I'm kind of looking at Lego Batman, and I like how he's got like nice colorings and stuff like that. He's got like this white here that's going on. All the way up here. This is all white. And then this shadow that he's got going on around the edge of him is kinda, instead of it being this blue, I mean this dark brown, it's not a harsh line, it's got like this blue tone, and it kind of leads into the white. And then right here, he's got like a little edge of blue here, but it stops, and then it becomes like the midnight blue and the blues and stuff like that. So like right here is kind of blackish. So let's see, I'll use, oh, is this black? No, it's dark brown. I was getting excited there. I'm like, oh, my black. Oh, and I need to put something over my hand because I've got like smudges and stuff already. Try to avoid that. What's that plastic? Oh, I just had the plastic. And I'm using plastic so that you can still see the image beneath it. And it'll protect my paw from messing this stuff up. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of black here. Actually, this is dark brown. This isn't black. Okay, so I got a little bit of dark brown there, and then I'm going to lead that in with the blues. Let's see, this one is light blue. Put that to the side. And this one is blue. So let me see if that'll work. And because this is such a tight area, I didn't want to use a crayon, but there we go. And the blue kind of blends in with the dark tone there. And then we have the lighter tone here. And then in his face, it's a lot darker. And that's where all the other colors come into play. Right here is a little lighter. Right here, it's dark again. So let me use my dark brown. And his nose is casting a shadow. So I have a little bit of a shadow action going here. Lego Batman's gonna make my picture look fabulous. Okay, and we'll just have that, and then So another thing is, don't limit yourself on what kind of source image you use. You'll find help in to visualize what you want in unlikely places. Okay, I like that crazy blue that's coming off of him. Let's see. I don't know if that's the light blue or if it's the cerulean blue. It's kind of like a violet, like a deep dark violet. Let's see. This one here is violet purple. Okay. And this has kind of like a crest on it. Okay, and then back to the blues. And if you use the wrong blue, it's no biggie deal. You can always just mix them together. Okay, and as he gets closer to the edge here, it becomes like a grayer type blue. So let me see. Let me get this like a grayer blue. So you got a little bit of light, a little bit of dark. Or you've got a lot of cool tones. Okay, and I think I want to carry on a little bit more of that cool tone there. So I'm going to use a little bit of this violet purple and give it the violet purple here. Now I'm going to try something and see if I can get this violet purple to become more vibrant. I'm going to heat up my paper along with the pencil itself and see if we can get it to squeeze out a bit more of this violet. If not, I'll do that with a crayon, and I know I'll definitely get it to be more vibrant. And then we'll leave this area right here, and we'll even probably put a little white spot there, just like Lego Batman here. He looks tight. I like this coloring. Okay, let me try heating it up a bit. Let's see, where is my... Here it is. Here's my hot air gun. Okay, I'm going to heat up the colored pencil too. All right. And as I heat it up, I can see the baby oil kind of moving around. Oh yeah. Usually you don't want to put, you don't want to leave your hot air gun on it too long. We don't want to burn the paper or anything like that. Not that that's going to happen. But if you're doing it with crayons, your crayons will melt and they will move all over the place. And it's pretty cool when it's random. Like you want a random look to it. But not so cool when you meant to put it in some place and now it's your eyeball. Okay, and we'll throw a little bit of this purple here. And we'll just drag it down a bit. And I'm going to heat it up a little bit more. And I think I'll put another purple on here. Let's see, this one was Vivid or Wild. Was it Wild or Vivid? This is Vivid Violet. Let's see. Okay, that's what Vivid Violet looks like. And that's kind of close to what I want. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of this Vivid Violet right here. It just gives it like a warmer tone. And I'll put that on top of the other violet. And it just gives me a depth of violet. But I also want kind of like a bluish tone too, kind of mixed in with that. Okay. And we'll give it a hot spot, like the light's hitting it like right here. And then lighten it up around that hot spot with a little bit of blue, or into the blue, but I'm making this area right here super hot. There it is. I'm just trying to work this white into the paper here. And if I don't get it white enough, I can always melt a white crayon onto it. Like, just get it hot enough to look like it's about to drip. Or I might not even have to do all that. Let me just warm up the paper for about like 5 seconds. And that's usually enough to do a little bit of damage there. And then I'll blend the colors into that. But I think I'll save this end right here for his face. Okay, his face doesn't look too bad. I kind of want it to be a little, I'm thinking a little orangier, a little bit more salmon to it. Just to make it a little bit more vibrant. So I'm going to heat it up and see what it does for us. Oh, but first I'm going to wipe it off. Okay, so this looks 10 times better than the Batman that I was working on earlier. Okay. At least in my opinion, it does. Okay. Get back to my source image. Crap. Make this bigger. There we go. Okay. So right here on the side of his upper lip, it's more like a sunset tone, I think, of his skin. Let's see, maybe a little bit of brown. Make his chin pop out a little bit more. Give this a little bit of brown to make this kind of stand out a little bit more. And then into his cheekbones. Trying to get up there. Okay, and then I'm just going to mix this in with a little bit of peach to lighten it up a bit. And I'll put them side by side again so you guys will be able to see the difference between where I am and then where I started over. I'm not as far out as I was. Oh, 608. Woo! I was getting scared there. Like, oh crap! Today's not the day to play. Okay. Bring a little bit more color to his face here. And I'm just coloring in circles. And that just seems to work it into the paper pretty well. Now this guy has a different chin than my other Batman. So I'm going to take a few liberties. And I think I kind of like this guy's chin. Okay. In certain places it gets a little lighter, so I'm going to add a little bit of white here. It's still kind of like the muzzle of his mouth. And adding white, and I'm just pretty much rubbing it with some pressure, just a little bit of pressure, is lightening up different areas. So I want it a little lighter here. Let's see. And I just want it a little, just a slight bit darker right here. Just a slight. Not too much. And I'll just add a little bit of white to kind of blend it in a little bit and lighten it up. Okay, and then we'll kind of bring this in because this was part of his frown, I guess. It's a little lower than I needed it to be. And then there's his chin, his little indent, and then I'll mix that indent with a little bit of gray. Let's see, where's that dark brown? Here we go. Oh, use this dark brown. Okay, let's see. Just bring in his chin out a little bit so it's kind of more symmetrical. The top of his chin is going to be kind of peachish, salmonish, samish. And then, let's see, we'll just kind of blend it in with the peach. Okay, and right where this shadow is, there's a corresponding highlight, like right there. There we go. Okay, and then just in this region here, I'm going to go throw a little bit of white. There we go. Okay, and then plunge it into darkness again, right here. And that gives them a little bit more roundness. Now I do want this to be a deeper tone. Let's see. So it's like peach with a little bit of brown mixed with it, or salmon with a little bit of brown mixed with it. And that makes it a little bit, what's the word? Richer, a richer tone. Okay. All right. Now this color here was violet purple. Oh, I like this violet purple. Okay, so I'm going to go back over it now that it's cooled. And it's kind of subtle. So what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of a darker tone beneath it to make it kind of pop out a little bit more. And kind of have it blend in with that dark there. And let's see if I've got a corresponding crayon color. Let's see, I think this is Purple Heart. Purple Heart was a deeper, darker purple, so I'm going to throw that on top. In between that dark tone and the purple. Let's see, and we'll leave that part a little bit blue. And I think I'll heat it up so it'll make it a little bit brighter. It's 6:14. Okay, so this is as far as I'm going to be able to get today on this one. But yeah, this is a much more interesting looking Batman, I think. Thank you, Lego Batman. You have been a big help. I do want this to be a lighter blue right above here. Whoops, whoops. Losing me alt supplies. Okay, there we go. And then like right above that, this beautiful blue. And it just kind of blends in to the white. Let's see, this was the nicer tone. We'll make the hot spot just a little bit more blended. There we go. So take your time when you color. If I could give any advice, take your time. Layer your colors. Don't just use one. And just get the most out of these colors. Make them work for you. There we go. All right. So here's that Batman versus where I was so far on the other Batman. Had I taken my time, maybe he might come out like this. I don't know. But for some reason, I just did not, I was not digging the face. It was just a little too dark in here. So there are times when you gotta just start over. But I do want to still keep this kind of light tone. Like he's got like some color in his face here. But I want to bring that down here where it probably just didn't get a lot of color. And it'd be so funny if it had like shadows, you know, like what is that called? Tan lines. If he had tan lines, but I'm gonna let it go today so I don't miss this bus. I can't be late. Uh, but if you guys took the time to sit and watch what I've done so far, I'm gonna complete this part of the face tomorrow, and then bring it. I'm gonna just keep bringing it on down. But I do want to focus on this part here. I do want to finish this relatively quickly because this paper will dry out, and I'll put all three of these together so you can see what the original looked like versus the color. It's kind of hard because, let's see if I can get everybody in the same picture. I gotta see what you guys see. There we are. Okay, so we've got original Batman 1.0, and then we've got Batman 2.0. So, alrighty. So, yeah. So that's with colored pencils mixed in with a little bit of crayon. Let's see, maybe it'd be easier to see it this way. So if you guys want to learn some more tips, or if you want to, you know, like and subscribe, just do your thing. If you don't, that's cool. Maybe I might find some way to entice you to do so. Again, thank you guys so much for taking the time out and watching. And hopefully we'll get through this before Friday, just before the end of the week. All right. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.